I may not have a pool, but with a pool party pack by Sun King Brewery, wherever I am, the party is. Welcome back to another episode of Klaudless in Indy. I'm Klaudless, and I'm in Indy, and fortunately for you, it's obviously another beer review. So the pool party pack, basically 12 beers in the variety pack of 4 different types of beers, starting from this side to this side here. I can't actually see, but we have Sharks and Minnows, Make a Splash, Teamy, and Synchronized Sipping. And I believe that you can find all of these at the Carmel location. I'm not sure about the other Sun King locations, but I know for a fact, unless something has changed as of yesterday, you can find these at the Carmel location. Except for the Teamy. I think that actually may have been out. Not sure. But we're just going to sample these. I'm going to, give you my reviews of each one. We're going to watch the pour. And I'll be using my flight board that I got from the fall festival in McCordsville, I think last year, which is what I used in my very first beer review video. So maybe I'll post that somewhere, so go check that out. That was an Oktoberfest beer review. So with that being said, let's get right into it, and we're going to start off with the, well, hold on. Whoop, I'm spilling everything over here. So we are going to start off with the Sharks and Minnows. Alright, so before I get into the pour, Sharks and Minnows is an easy drinking summertime lager, and this is according to Untappd.com. First, let me see if I can just bring this beer up to the camera. Look at that. One thing that I do like about Sun King, though, is that they have some pretty darn good lagers. I have had this in the past, but I don't remember the taste profile, so I'm really happy that I'll be able to refresh my memory on that one. I really like the cartoons with the dolphin and the shark there. You got an orca or shamu in the background, and they're just hanging out in the pool. Yeah, so let's get it open. Smells very light, very crisp. Oh wow, that is just a ton of hair there, but I wouldn't say as expected with lagers. Absolute great head formation. Absolute great head formation. I did pull these right out of the freezer to let them cool up or cool down a little bit. But as you can see, it's very straw, yellow colored, very transparent. Lots of carbonation bubbles as expected in a lager. Very, very fluffy head, very bready. Just a great performance, just a great glass performance in general. I want to say it almost reminds me, just the smell of it reminds me of a Bud Light. Wow. But on the palate, you don't really taste a lot of that carbonation. It's actually very smooth. I wouldn't say crisp, but very smooth. We're gonna go for one more pour. Yeah, very grainy too, or malty. I do realize I forgot to mention the ABV and the IBU profile here, but what I have in my descriptions, an easy drinking summertime lager with an ABV of 4.5 and an IBU of 17. And according to Shrubber85, I don't remember what website I got that from, but they described it as barley malt and a grass aroma. Golden yellow with a small white head, which I would have to disagree. That's a very large white head. Mildly sweet lemon, barley malt, mildly bitter grass flavor. I can't really say I get any of that. I mean, it probably doesn't help that I'm literally standing in my backyard, surrounded by grass. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of citrus there, but at least to me, just mainly that malty flavor that you can expect in a pale lager. Absolutely beautiful. Would recommend. We're going to continue down the line with Make a Splash. What is Make a Splash? Make a Splash is another light lager with salt and lime character with an ABV of 4.5% and an IBU of 17. So very similar to the summertime lager. And we're going to go ahead and show you the can. And if you've noticed a pattern here, I mean, it's not really a pattern since this is only the third can, but if you paid attention to the other cans, they're all in a pool. By the way, that's another orca, some fish, a unicorn going on there. Oh, and this one, it's raining. And it looks like some koi jumping into a donut, a pool donut. Alrighty. I think this is just a great can design in general. Kudos to whoever designed these cans. I'm not sure how I feel about the whole salt part about this lager, but I'm about to find out. Oh, look at that. Just look as the head just comes straight out of the can here. We're gonna go right ahead into the pour. Oh yeah, look at that. Absolute great head, as expected. This one is pretty darn similar. And of course, after I go through the tastings, we're gonna do a comparison between all four as far as color, maybe head, maybe aroma. But of course we have another, wow. I'll get back to that in just a minute. Of course we have another strong head there. Straw to yellow, very transparent, lots of carbonation bubbles. As I said, expected of a pale lager. But right on the nose, when I brought it close to me, I can immediately get that smell of lime. Wow, that's pretty darn good. Now keep in mind, these aren't like, I did chill these up, but it's also very hot out here. I think it's like in the 80s today. Yeah, I think my watch tells me it's about 85. So these have actually warmed up fairly quickly. But as you already know, I don't really care for my beers to be super cold. I actually like them within that the high 50s, low to mid 60 range. That way I can get all the flavors, especially when it comes to these light bodied beers. Yeah, I'm not sure about the salt, but hands down, this is just a very limey beer. Almost reminds me of, say, those Bud Light limes. I know a lot of people don't really care for Bud Light. They consider it an inferior beer, but I think that it's a great product. I mean, it is, at the end of the day, my house beer. And I really loved when they came up with the flavored Bud limes, such as the cranberry, the lemonade, the grapefruit, the orange. And this kind of reminds me of that, the Make a Splash. Once again, definitely recommend. What a great lager. Excuse me. I would kind of wonder how it compares to the Pachanga by Sun King as well. Now, moving on, we're going to go to Teamy. I have had this beer before, but I'm not going to go into my opinions about it until I get this can open. With that being said, let's check it out. Look at that. We are once again at night in the pool. That looks like a lemon. Oh yeah. And as you can see there, some of the lily pads there are lemon slices or lemon wheels. All right, so the Teamy, a tea infused ale with lemon. I'm really excited to do this tasting of this one. This is it has an ABV of 5.5 and an IBU of 13. So just a little bit more ABV, like 10 points above the two lagers there. As far as this one, I'm not sure what you would consider this. Maybe this would be considered either a fruit beer or a field beer. Unfortunately, I couldn't find much information online about it. I can't really see how my lights are doing over here. I couldn't really find that much information about it. Couldn't really find it on the Sun King website. Maybe I wasn't looking hard enough. So the information I was able to get was from Untapped. But with that being said, we're about to tap this can. Not a lot of head here from the opening of the can. I want to say small to medium head formation. As you can see that right there, it is almost I want to say almost a gold, like a dark honey gold color. As you can see, the head also deflated quite quickly. Quite a lot of CO2 bubbles there. Let's get into the aroma. To me, this actually smells, believe it or not, like brisk. At least when I think of tea, I think of brisk. I'm not sure if you guys remember the brisk cans. I can't really tell whether it smells like sweet or unsweet tea, but that's what the tasting is for. Let's get into it. Wow. Also, because I'm in the grass, there are just a ton of like tiny grasshoppers, and I'm getting the insects crawling all over me. So don't mind them. I won't if you won't. But here's the thing about this Teamy, right? So surprisingly, I did not actually care for it right off the top. I think that what they were going for was they hit the nail right on the head. It tasted exactly like unsweet tea. And that's kind of what this tastes like. Although at a warmer temperature, I would say it's a little bit less on the sweet side. I mean, less on the unsweet side, and it's a little bit more subtle. It's a little bit more approachable, at least for me, being a southerner who enjoys their tea sweet. I can drink unsweet tea, mind you, but I prefer my tea sweet. That is actually pretty refreshing. Very enjoyable. I want to say there are citrus notes, but that's obviously from the lemon in there. Once again, would recommend, especially on a hot day like this. So far, these first 3 beers that I've covered have been very, very refreshing. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the pool party pack, right? And if you're at a pool party, or just at a party in general, especially out in the hot summer sun, I mean, I'm literally sweating right now. You're gonna want light, refreshing beers. And so far, the Sharks and Minnows, the Make a Splash, and the Teamy have not disappointed. Very nice. Although I will say, like, if you're a big fan of lemons, especially like if you like lemons in your water, like pretty much like an ice water with lemons, or even just a water with lemons, I think you're really going to enjoy the Teamy because of the citrus. I want to say the acidity from the lemons is pretty high. Excuse me. And I want to say as the beer started warming up, you know, of course, as it's in my hand, as it's sitting in the glass, it's being exposed to the heat. That started to show itself a little bit more. Let me do one more pour so I can confirm that. Yeah, that is the case. And I will say too, now that it's kind of warmed up a little bit, the nose has gone away a tad bit. But of course, I mean, I didn't exactly fill up the glass, you know, to how I filled it up before. All right, now for the final beer. I did not do this intentionally, but I would say in the past of these that I've had, this would probably be one of my favorite ones. I'm not sure. The Sharks and Minnows was pretty good, and so was Make a Splash, hands down. And I already kind of knew that the Teamy wasn't going to be, you know, at least in the top 3. But let's go on to Synchronized Sipping. I think my tablet turned off here. All right, so the Synchronized Sipping, a Belgian-Style Wit with orange and blueberry character. And according to Untappd, they considered it a Belgian blonde. So let's go show you the can here. We have an octopus. Once again, we have Shamu here, and I think that this can is actually very similar to the Sharks and Minnows. I mean, they're all very similar just in general, because they're all of these beers take place in a backyard, if you haven't noticed. Oh, we even got some cornhole. You know, what would an Indiana beer be if there wasn't some cornhole? What would an Indiana party be if there wasn't some cornhole? See, and of course we have the blueberry and orange. All right, so let's go get into the opening. Very strong aroma right away. And the first thing that I smelled before I even poured it into the glass was the blueberries. But let's get into the pour and see if we can, if we notice any orange as well. Oh, look at that! Look at that. That is some beautiful head there. But once again, similar to the Teamy, it is a small to medium head. But it doesn't really look like the head is lasting that long. Not very good head retention. It is dissipating fairly quickly. All right, and this one here is, I want to say it's a lighter gold, lighter honey. You can see that. I hope my light is not too bad in this video. That will be very, very disappointing. I guess I could always theoretically redo the video, but I prefer not. So, onto the nose. The blueberries are very strong. Think blueberry syrup, blueberry pancakes, a blueberry muffin. Very prominent. But can we taste that orange? I can't smell the orange. It might be there, but I think it's hiding. There may be some citrus there, kind of right in the background. It's just that the blueberry is so forward that it's masking anything else that is in there, whether it's the malt or the citrusness of the orange, just on the nose. But let's get into the tasting. Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow, there it is. There it is. It could hide on the nose, but it couldn't hide on the palate. You definitely got the mixture of both that blueberry and orange. I once again have to give a disclaimer that I have had these beers on tap, You know, coming out of the fridge anywhere between 38 to 45 degrees. I've had these super cold, but you already know me that I like my beers to be slightly warmer, especially when they're light bodied or even light to medium bodied. That way I can get all the flavors. And it's just interesting just how the beer behaves at different temperatures. Oh, wow. And this beer right here is a little bit on the medium side, definitely on the upper light to lower medium side, especially being a Belgian wit. If we go ahead and look at the body there, you can see that it's slightly hazy, okay, not very transparent. I can see my finger on the other side of the glass, but not very clearly. I can just see the reflection, which is expected of this style of beer. Yes, very, very good. I'm gonna go for one more pour, and then we're going to go ahead and pour a full glass of all of these. And so that way you guys can see the side by sides. Wow, look at that. That just looks absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But like I said, it's just sad, not very great head retention. But the temperature could have a lot to do with that as well. But I do find it interesting, right? I may have mentioned it before, but I feel the need to reiterate it again, just in case I haven't, is that the blueberry is very forward on the nose. There is a hint of orange, but it seems to be hiding and only reveals itself on the palate. Now, when it's a lot colder, in my own experience, the blueberry is still very much forward, but it's also very blueberry forward on the palate when the beer is colder. Okay, but right now, since the beers are fairly warmer, the flavors kind of blend into each other. And so while on the nose, the blueberry is still the most forward flavor, on the palate, you actually get the mixture of the blueberry and the orange actually reveals itself, which I find very, very intriguing. I don't know if that was the intention of the brewers, but regardless, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, very silky. Very silky there. Wow. Wow. But hands down, maybe I'll have to rewatch this video, but if I had to choose which one was going to be my favorite so far in this tasting, it would be a battle between, and we're just talking about right now, we're outside, we're at the party, and we're wanting very refreshing beers. Okay. Which is the first beer I'm going to grab out of the cooler? And it's honestly going to be a battle between the Sharks and Minnows or the Make a Splash. But when it really comes down to it, I'd be more than happy to grab any one of these out of the cooler. I'm going to be satisfied. My thirst is going to be quenched. But let's go. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour these. Look at that. Yeah, you can definitely tell as these beers get warmer, the head is not from. Oh my God! Look at that! Look at that! Wow. Okay, so the Sharks and Minnows and the Make a Splash, as you can see, as they warmed up, their head, basically, their head retention rate absolutely dropped, while the Teamy, the head retention rate actually almost increased. Okay, let's see the synchronized sipping. Same thing. Absolutely look at that. If you guys weren't paying attention, I encourage you to pay attention. Maybe even rewind this video, okay, and look. You saw it for yourselves, okay. But from my eyes here, that I can see, I'm gonna try to move this up a tad bit closer to the camera, okay. I'm not sure if this will work. If I can barely even see. But you can see both the Sharks and Minnows and Make a Splash, which of course are both lagers. Very clear, very yellow and straw-like, very transparent, still lots of CO2 bubbles. And then of course we have the Teamy, a little bit darker, almost kind of a gold to light amber, or just a very dark gold, almost gaining a reddish hue, just almost. And then of course the Synchronized Sipping, which is of course the Belgian Wit, so that is a bit yellow to gold colored. And you can see a lot of CO2 bubbles in that as well, and it is also not very transparent, which is expected of this particular style. Also, too, I noticed that the Teamy is also not very transparent too. I mean, it is tea after all. I don't know if tea's supposed to be transparent. Anyways, this video is already long enough. I'm already over 26 minutes as of recording this. So that is going to be it. I'm just going to review my notes, make sure I did not miss anything, and apparently I did not. Actually, I did. The Synchronized Sipping, I forgot to mention, is 5.3 ABUs. I mean, ABV. 5.3 ABV and 20 IBUs. That's it. This is me covering the Pool Party Pack by Sun King Brewery, which includes the Sharks and Minnows, the Make a Splash, the Teamy, and the Synchronized Sipping. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. So with that being said, cheers, saluts, slancha, zdrovia, prost, and let me know if there's any Indiana breweries or Indiana beers that you would like me to cover. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.